Hello everyone! My name is Jennifer Stay. This is Coloring Bliss and welcome to our weekly live event. We are here to see if I can do Inktober again. This will be my third year in a row doing Inktober and I'm going to take you along for the journey. And I'm so excited! I love Inktober. It's such a good habit-forming art adventure, and I'd love to have you join me. I've got links in the video description of how you can follow me as I post my art, and there's a video playlist here on YouTube of all the different kinds of Inktober videos that I have posted over the last 2 years. And as I post additional videos, I'll be adding them to that playlist. And if you follow me, hit that subscribe button, you won't miss any of the videos that will be going on this month. So we did the first part of this live event over on Facebook, and now we're here with YouTube. So I'm going to get you caught up on what we've been doing and just talk a little bit about Inktober. If you're new to Inktober, it's a daily challenge for art during October, and it's been going around for a long time. And there's a prompt list that you follow. There's an official prompt list, and then there's a lot of unofficial prompt lists that you can follow. And there are official rules that you can follow, or you can just do it however you want, which is how I usually end up doing it. So there's different artists you can follow on Instagram and other social media platforms that do Inktober, and it's really fun to see what people create during October. And if you want to participate, then I highly recommend it. You don't have to be an artist. You can do Inktober lots of different ways. You could color, you could do watercolor, you could do Zentangling, you could just doodle. There's lots of different ways to do art for Inktober. It's more about just establishing a daily habit of creativity. So if you think of it that way, it's a little more approachable, and you don't even have to do it daily, but it is more about creating a habit. So that's why I like Inktober, because it kind of refreshes me and gets me back in the habit of doing something creative every day. So what I'm working on is day one's prompt. So I'm already behind, which is all right. Life happens, and I let myself get behind. I give myself permission to have catch-up days where I do multiple days of art, and then I post those finished projects all at the same time. So that's the way I do Inktober. I don't try to, I have to do it every day, and if I mess up, then I've failed. I don't put that kind of pressure on myself because it's just unrealistic in my world. So that's the way I do Inktober. So if you'd like to see how my art turned out from 2018, I already shared that sketchbook. That's this one right here over on Facebook. We thumbed through it. And here in a minute, I'm going to thumb through how my art turned out from 2017. That's the sketchbook right here. But right now I'm going to finish up day one's prompt, which the word was ring. So I'll show you what I've been working on, and we're going to add a few details to it and talk a little bit about how you can join in with Inktober and what my plans are for Inktober. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. Like I said, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe so you can enjoy the journey of art that we do here on Coloring Bliss. So let me show you. The word was ring, and what we've done here is I put the word ring, and let me show you my sketchbook so you know what I'm working in here. At the beginning of the year, my goal for myself was to use it up and wear it out. That was my goal, and so I didn't go buy a new sketchbook. I told myself I had to use a sketchbook that I already had. So it's actually the same sketchbook that I used last year. It's an Arteza watercolor sketchbook. There's 30 pages, so at some point I'm going to have to use the back side of at least one page because there's 31 days in October. So then on this side of the back side of the cover, I've written out every word of the prompt list. Now, if you want to see the official prompt list, there's a link in the video description. And that link will take you to this prompt list here. There's also the prompt list from previous years, and nothing says you can't do a different prompt list or jump around to other words. For instance, maybe you hate the word ring and you want to do a different word. You can totally do that. There's no art police that's going to come and get you, so you can do whatever you want. So this is the official list and the list that I'm going to be following. I love watching and seeing how everyone interprets the different words. Like, for instance, the word ring, you could interpret it for the sound that a bell makes when it rings and somehow draw that. There's so many different ways to interpret these words. It's so much fun to watch and see what everybody does. And then people will follow the official Inktober rules if you want, or you can do like me and break all conventions and do it however you want. But these are the official rules as from their website. What you do is you make a drawing in ink, which, as you can see, day one, I've already broken the rules. I used watercolor. So you're supposed to make a drawing in ink, and you can do a pencil under drawing if you want. And then the second rule is that you should post it. So I'm planning on posting mine on Instagram and on my Facebook page. So you can follow me there if you'd like to see mine, and use the hashtag Inktober or Inktober 2019. And then you repeat it every day, and then it talks about how you can, do it weekly or every other day, or if you don't want to post it on social media, you can post it on your fridge or just share it with someone that you trust and love. Also, we have an amazing coloring group. Let me put the link up here. Which one is it? This one. This is our coloring group, and I highly recommend you come and check it out. It's a very supportive, cheerful, loving group where if you decide to be brave and share something that you've drawn for the first time or colored for the first time, that group of people will always cheer you on. I've never seen a negative or hurtful thing ever said. And if anyone ever was negative or hurtful, they would get my wrath. Because we are a blissful community that supports each other. So I highly recommend that you join that group and post there if anywhere else, because people will be really loving and supportive of your attempts to do new art and grow there. So
what did you use to make the background, and what
over
pen
here
did you use to write on it?
This one over here, I used 2 colors out of my new set of paints here. These are the Paul Rubens. I think this is dry enough. Yeah, these are just the plain Paul Rubens, not the metallics. And I used a purple and a blue, and I just I used some tape. It was just some clear tape that I had, and I masked off the background, and I washed the 2 colors together to make the background. And then I used a black Sharpie, and I used 2 gel pens. I used the Milky Pop gel pens, a green and a blue, to write the words on the back. That's how I did it. And I do plan on covering the front to make it a little more decorative and personal to me. So I'll do that while, when I find something that I want to put on the front, I'll decorate it and cover it so it's more fun. So, and then every day I'll write the word of the day and which day it is, and then I can decorate it up. So this is as far as we've gotten so far on day 1's prompt. What we did was we laid down a ring, and we used some water, just plain water with a little bit of this additive mixed in. This is by Winsor & Newton. It's a watercolor medium it's called blending medium. I'll bring it up to the camera here. And what it does is it slows down the drying time of the water. I live here in Utah, which is a desert, and my water here dries so fast that I don't have time to do some neat watercolor effects. So I drew the ring with that treated water, just plain water, and then we dripped the different colors into that water, and it did some fun blending. So if you want to watch that whole process, you can go watch that video over on Facebook and see how I did it. And now we have these fun rings on my page, and we're going to continue to decorate it here in a minute.
Are Milky Pops like the Sakura Moonlight?
Yes, the Moonlights have a few more colors. I really like the Moonlight pens. They're one of my most favorite, all-time favorite pens. And then the Milky Pops come in all pastel type colors like this right here. So they work really well on dark paper, and they're very opaque. So they work really good for this kind of application here. But I did struggle. You can see they didn't flow perfectly, and it could be because the paper was a little pilly after being treated with the watercolor, because this wasn't watercolor paper. This is just cardboard. So that's, I think, why I struggled with the lettering over here. But that's all right. It was fun, and it turned out good, I think. So, but last year what I did, I'll show you. This was a lot simpler. This cover, this is the same book right here. And what I did was I Mod Podged some paper. This was just tissue paper. I Mod Podged tissue paper and washi tape for my cover. And then on the inside, I just printed out the prompt list from last year and just Mod Podged it in, so I didn't have to letter anything. And so if you don't want to do any lettering, this is a great way to get your prompt list into your book permanently so that you can always find it and you don't have to go searching for what the word is of the day. So highly recommend that. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to do some spritzing of color on here, and then I'm going to take you for a little tour of 2 years ago, what my Inktober book turned out. So of what my... I'm not Englishing very good right now. Told Steve I think my English is getting worse. I don't know what it is. So I've just got still my number 8 round brush here. We're going to pick up whatever colors we have left and do a little spritzing. So I'm going to flip this around and protect the rest of my book with the rules, with the Inktober rules. And we're just going to add some of this blue in. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, I like that. Maybe extra blue down here. Like that, like it's sort of like that. Sound effects. And some green. Okay, let's pick up what's left of the green and do the same thing.
You have several people like Paula A. Teresa and others. It's their first year doing it. They're finally trying it.
Oh, you're gonna love it. Don't be frustrated. Like if you get behind or things aren't turning out exactly the way you want it to. All that is normal, and you just go for it. You're going to be surprised at how good things turn out and what you discover about yourself and your art. Okay, I like that. I kind of like how there's no spritz up here. We have extra lots down here. I'm going to do more down here.
Aspie Wisdom says, we can understand Jenglish.
I like that. We should just keep calling it that because I swear my English is getting worse. I think it's when I get excited and I get talking faster and my English can't keep up with my thoughts. Okay, I really like how there's extra down at the bottom in the one corner. I'm going to amp that up even more. More red. More red. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so now while this dries, we're going to take a little tour of 2017's book. We're just going to flip through it because if you really want to see a slow down page by page tour of 2017, I believe there's a video. Look how fun, my rules are all fun now. Okay, so here is my 2017 book. This book is, I almost had it. What's the name of these kinds of books? Now I can't remember. It's a special kind of paper, and I wasn't too impressed with it. It's supposed to be, you can put ink on it and it doesn't bleed through. Oh, I'll think of it in a minute. It's weird, the way it takes on paint, the way it took on different products. It just doesn't act the same. So I've never bought another one. It was very expensive. Excuse me. So I never bought a second one after it. I was really hopeful that I would love it.
Nancy says, I'm getting stuck on ink. What counts as ink?
I think in the, in the original vision of Inktober, this Jake Parker who came up with it, his idea was, either like pen and ink or like a dip pen. I think that's what he was picturing. Like you would actually ink out a page. And I think he was getting back to, instead of doing digital art, he wanted to put a pen in his hand and draw something every day in October. I think that was the original vision. But it's grown. If you go look at hashtag Inktober on Instagram and see what everybody does, it encompasses every form of art you can possibly imagine now. So some people are true to the original black and white ink type of Inktober, and some people are like me and they take it very liberally and just do whatever they feel inspired to do that day. So there's everything in between. So it's really whatever you want to do. I will give you the same warning that I gave everybody on Facebook. If you decide to go over onto Instagram or any of the social medias and look up the hashtag Inktober, you will be hit with all kinds of art. Everything from innocent flowers and lovely things to full-on nudity and violent imagery and drug paraphernalia imagery. All of it will be there. It's not censored. Everything will be there. So if you don't want to see everything, then don't go look up the hashtag. So you can decide what you want to do.
And TCAS, is it moleskin paper?
No, Render. That's the brand. That's the name of this paper, Render.
Oh, yeah. Somebody just mentioned Render.
Yeah, that's the one.
I thought it had a weird odor.
Yeah, it's a very different paper. It's treated differently so that technically the ink. See how this is one page, and this was done with, I think, Sharpie, and it didn't bleed through, so I could do another piece of art on the other side. So it does do what it proclaims. But then when you hit it with water and you expect it to do things like what we did over here with the rings, it doesn't do what you think it will do, because it's different. It's a different creature. And back in 2017, that was back in the beginning of my understanding of paper. So I hadn't learned yet how different some papers can be. And Render paper is very different. So it does its job, but it's not going to act like watercolor paper. It's just different. So if you want to learn about a new kind of paper, this is a neat paper to try. But it's very different. So anyway, I'm just going to thumb through it because, like I said, there's another YouTube video where you can actually go and see a really slow with music and everything version of this flip through. So I haven't flipped through this in over a year, and it's kind of fun. I remember drawing this. We were with my sisters. I remember drawing this. That's funny. Yeah, and that was her sword. That was the idea. This was the girl, and this was her sword. Isn't it funny how you remember? And then I was like, I don't know if I like how she turned out. We were talking about this on Facebook, how I tend to draw a lot of, do we call them creepy girls? Is that what I call them?
Something like that.
Creepy girls. I'm really good at creepy girls. I get all the creepy girls out of my system, and then I draw the good girls for you guys for my coloring pages. So my sketchbooks tend to be filled with creepy girls. That's okay. The creepy girls have to be somewhere, right? So I forgot about, didn't we make this into a coloring page for them? Yeah. And that Screech Owl was a little creepy too, but still pretty cool. He's got character. And she was done with that cool pen. These pens that, these elegant writer pens that you can pick up by Speedball Art that do neat things when you hit them with water. That's what that is. And I think I did another one. See how the ink does neat things when they get hit with water. Yeah, see, there's that Speedball Art again. And this was those bubbles. There's a whole video where I show you what these bubbles do. You get ink mixed in with bubbles, and then they do neat things. That's what that's all about. Yeah. Oh, I remember all of these. This is so fun. Look at the shine. Creepy girls. Every sketchbook needs a creepy girl. That one turned out good. What was that one? Fierce. All right, Jennifer. See, she's less creepy, but still a little creepy.
She looks like purposefully creepy.
Yeah, she looks stylized creepy, not like I was trying to make her pretty. But look how cute these guys are. These guys are really cute. I like them. Oh, you can't see all of them down there. There's that little guy.
That's cute.
That one's really fun. And there's that butterfly. And here I was starting to practice. This was the beginning of my journey of lettering. I've come a long way. Oh my goodness, I've come a long way. That's really neat to see. Ah, that makes me happy. I wonder if there's things in here I shouldn't be showing you. Oh, that turned out pretty good. Look at her hair.
She has a beard.
She has a beard. And she's filthy.
Yeah.
I see art everywhere. That wasn't a day. I think I was just... Oh, that was probably inspired by our cat. What do you think? Here he is.
Pikachu.
Pikachu. You can tell I have kids. Trail. See, anybody could draw that. Anybody could draw little ladybugs, right? Or could they? Juicy. Hey, I think I did pretty good on the texture of that. She has a big nose. I like her hair, though. I did pretty good on her hair. Oh, yeah! I was doing a Star Trek Voyager marathon. I think I was drawing something for all of you, and I was watching like all the Voyagers in a row. So I decided to draw Voyager because the word was ship. Squeak. Aww. Ooh, creepy. Put love in it. There's more of that pen, that Elegant Writer pen. It's a cool pen. United. See, their roots are united.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, so meaningful. Oh, you guys can't read that. They're all going to pause it now. Oh, yeah, another creepy girl. Found. More practicing lettering. And a mask. Very cool. Oh, and it's a shiny mask. Ooh. Did I do anything else? Nope. I think I always had plans to do more in here, but didn't ever come back to it. All right. Very good. Okay, so that was 2017. So here we are back. It's dry now. So I'm going to add a few more details with my favorite detailing pen. This is the Micron PN. PN stands for plastic nib. These pens are amazing, and I get them in black, but they do have colors. But I prefer the black because I use them for detailing like this. I'll show you what they look like. It has this really nice plastic nib. Micron, of course, makes ones with the fibery nib as well, but because I tend to be always doing details on like a watercolor paper, which is very textured, those fiber nibs just die really fast. So if you're doing the same kind of thing, if you're on a really textured paper, then try the plastic nib. I think it'll last you longer. So
I loved your book, by the way.
did you like it? It's kind of fun to look back and see all of that and remember where I was when I drew it. So, okay, so let's draw some more freehand rings now and add to it. So I'm just going to freehand a bunch of rings. And this is very appropriate because circles are my favorite shape. Do you guys have a favorite shape? What is your favorite shape? I'm gonna have to get warmed up here. Circles are hard to draw when your hand is cold. And they're hard to draw when you have a big ring on. So let's take that ring off. I'm going to draw some more rings. Down here especially. This is my ink for the Inktober part, right?
That's right. Donna asked if microns have a plastic nib.
These ones do. You have to buy the one that says Micron PN. That's what you're looking for if you want the plastic nib. Yeah, see, durable plastic nib. But most microns that you're going to find are the fiber nib. And like I said, I go through those so fast. Before the ink is ever worn out, my little nibs are shot.
So for those who've come in late, do you want to just explain really quick what you're doing?
So we are starting my journey of Inktober. So if you're familiar with Inktober, it's a daily art challenge for October. And you can follow the links in the video description to go see all of the rules and the prompts. And the day one prompt is ring. So what we did were these watercolor rings, and then I spritzed the colors out onto it, and now I'm just adding some more rings of ink with my Micron PN pen. And I'm going to add this pen into my bag, which I need to show you guys. I showed everybody over on Facebook. It's the same bag I used last year, which I am happy to report is still working as good as it did last year, which is pretty cool. I mean, sometimes you buy something and it doesn't last very long, or you discover it's just not working well for you, but this bag is working really well. They almost look like bubbles, don't they?
Yeah.
Put a big one out here. Another big one, and then we'll join it up a little bit. Do you have a favorite shape, Steve? Have you ever thought about it?
I can't say I do.
I know, what was it, Telly on
on
Sesame Street?
Sesame Street.
His favorite shape was triangles. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
He always was carrying around triangles. Oh, didn't he have like a triangle club or something? I need to start a circle club. Okay, I'm going to do a whole bunch of these rings down here because we have all these splatters. Like that. And then I'm going to have them sort of trailing up. Like that. That's fun. I love the new Micron pen. It always feels so good. It would be fun to add some sparkle.
We should
What?
turn some into a bubble using ink.
Ooh. But I want the main rings to be the...
Right, rings.
If I started coloring these little rings, we might lose that. Those being the focal point. I kind of like having, now we have like three things going on. We have the main focal point, we have the tiny little splatters, and then we have these inked rings. So it kind of has three things going on.
Can you use that pen for pointillism?
Yes. In fact, I'll show you how good it dots. And it dots better than the Micron fiber tips, because every time you dot with the fiber tip one, it crushes that little fiber tip with every touch, where the plastic nib, it doesn't crush it, it just lets the ink through.
Is that pen in our Amazon shop?
I'm pretty sure I put it there. If not, after we're done here, I'll go put it onto the shop.
Donna says, I love that nib. I have Posca paint pens with that nib. They're wonderful.
Ooh. So see, it'll do all those little dots without crushing those very expensive, and they're tiny dots too. Really good little dots. Okay, I feel like we need something up here. So let's add maybe some little rings. Now that my hand is warmed up, we're getting better circles. I mean rings. Better rings.
That's right.
They're not circles tonight. They are rings. We're going to have like a trail of rings coming through. Like this. I like that. Maybe one out here and one out here. Ooh, I like that. And then one up here, like that. And then let's add a little detail to the. Ooh, we could circle the dot on the eye. Let's add a little detail to the border for fun. Up here like that. And turn the corner and do a little bit down like that, just to make it feel a little bit more finished. I'm feeling good about that. Do a double border, cut into the words like that. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Maybe come down a little lower with that one. Like that. I like that. I'm going to add a few more. I want it to feel really purposeful, that line of rings.
I think you need more rings.
More of these rings?
More of the colorful rings.
The big ones. Well, it's dry now. We could put more on top. Should we put another one on top?
Yeah.
Do we have time? We do. We have time. Okay, let's do another one. We got everything out. We might as well. What color should we make it? What do you guys think? What color should we make our ring?
What colors do you have available?
I have a lot of colors. Ta-da! I'll show you the swatch book. These are our colors here from this set. Ooh, I just had a better idea than this set. Let's bring up the metallic Paul Rubens. Come, metallic Paul Rubens, and play with us. All right, so we'll have a few sparkly rings. Two maybe? Maybe we could put one here, one there. They could be smaller. Ooh, smaller. Yeah, two smaller rings. Come on. Come on out. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay, here they are, everyone. Are we ready for the ooh? Are you ready for the ooh? Okay, so we have the metallics. This is what they look like on white. Very important because we're working on white. So we don't want to look at the ones on black. Okay, so we need something that's going to stand well on its own. What do you think, Steve? Ooh. If it's going to be sort of here. Okay. I don't know. We need a shape. We need a round shape that's smaller. Take that off. Well, no, I need to leave that on. That's an important note. Maybe that round shape? I like that round shape. Okay. What about...
Getting some votes for purple.
I like that idea. We could go... This purple might compete with the blue, but this more red violety purple What do you think? Would that clash with the red? But the red's way out here, so it might work fine. What do you think, Steve? You're a good color chooser.
I say go for it.
Red violet. It's called Crepe Myrtle is the name of it, and it's this one way over here. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is lay this down. We need to kind of plan it out. We put one here kind of low, or we could, yeah, up here. Yeah, one here. Could almost do 3. 1, 2, 3. So one up here for sure. Okay, here we go, people. Here we go. Let's get everybody. So this is my water that is treated with the Winsor Newton watercolor medium blending medium. So it's plain water. Uh-oh, it's got a little bit of rose hair in it. Get that out. Okay, it's got the watercolor medium mixed into it so that the water will dry a little slower. Now this water may reactivate the watercolor that's dry below, so we need to be a little bit careful of that. Let me make sure I'm in camera for all of you. Right there will work good. Okay, so we're going to use this as our shape. It's kind of a weird shape. Oh well. Maybe way over here like that. Yeah, like that. Here we go. Drawing our circle. Sorry if my hair's in the way for a second. Did my hair get in the way? Are we okay?
A little bit, that's okay.
Okay, I think, oh yeah, it's activating it a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, build up a little extra water now. Can you see it?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm having trouble seeing it. I'll move it in the light just a little bit so I can make sure I'm activating or getting the right thing wet. Okay, now we're going to get the paint wet. Remember with your metallic paints that sometimes it takes a little work to get them activated. So typically I would have pre-sprayed this and let the water sit and get it nice and juicified. So I'm having to really stir it to get it going here. Okay. If I hadn't used that blending medium, I would be really worried about that water drying already over there. But hopefully it's going to hang in. Okay, here we go. Let's see. And I think we'll just do one color, don't you think? I don't know. It'd be fun to do two. Oh, that looks pretty. I can't see where the ring is. Can I see it on the camera and paint via the camera? I think that's where the ring was. Okay, let's add, what color would go pretty with it? Maybe that flash purple. I think I grabbed the wrong one. I think I grabbed rose petal. Yep, I grabbed rose petal instead of crepe myrtle, but that's okay. That's okay. It still looks pretty. Let's add a little bit of flash purple. Whoa, that one's really dry, but that's be expected. Get it going, get it going. Try and activate this flash purple. Come on, wake up. Wake up. There it goes. Okay, then we can put it over here into here and let it mix in. Okay, I don't want to overdo it. Now, I still have a lot of that flash purple. Oh well. Okay. Now, while that's drying, we'll move to the next ring. Let's put another ring over here. Turn this around so I don't accidentally touch that ring. Get my brush clean and we'll go again. Pick up the treated water. Let's see, let's think ahead this time and get some paint going. I'll put a couple drops into that color and that color and let it sit. Okay, there, we thought ahead. And let's put this ring right here. Okay, here we go.
Dawn just donated.
Oh, thank you so much, Dawn. Oh, your support is so appreciated. Okay. Nice juicy ring. Okay, I think I got enough water on that one that we don't need to add more. Let's go to this other view so you can watch me drip some color in, and hopefully, oh yeah, it's already ready for me because I pre-moistened. Let's see here, need a little more water. Come on. There we go. Over here too, come on. Flow. Now we're in the right color. This is that crepe myrtle that I was planning in the beginning to use. Pretty color. Okay, now let's grab that blue I also activated, which is that deep interference blue. Okay. Stir, stir, stir. These tiny little pans are really hard to work in. I like do this weird angle with the brush to get it stirred without getting too much in the other pan. Oh well. Okay, a little tap of blue in there. Ooh, that's Steve blue. I don't know if it needs a third one. It's kind of feeling pretty balanced. What do we think? Is it balanced? What do you think, Steve? We could do another one
Doesn't
over
need
here.
one to tie it all together. Tie them all together. Or do you want to keep them all separate?
Well, they're very wet, so if I do anything here, they'll go. So I could do another one down here.
That'll feel really heavy on the bottom, huh?
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if it's done. Is it an odd number? 2, 4, 5, right? Yeah. Odd numbers are typically a nice number to leave it on. I really like that blue and that pink together.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
These two are kind of muddying up. And if I added a little bit more of that rose pearl, if it would help.
Polly just donated.
Oh, Polly, thank you.
I don't know if she meant to donate 20 or 200.
Oh my word, what? Polly, I think you may have made a mistake. I think we need to give you a little refund back because that was very generous of you. She's going, oh no! What did I just do? Thank you, Polly. We'll contact you and we'll fix that. Oh. She's going, oh no, what happened? You're so sweet. Thank you for your donation, though. Okay, there we go. I think I'm going to just stop there. I'm really curious to see how these are going to dry with the shine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's how the rings are done.
Polly says, I think so. It's supposed to be 25.
It says that you were very generous and gave us how much?
200.
200. So we'll contact you and fix that. I wonder if she can fix that on her end, or anyway, we'll figure it out. Well, I did something like that the other day where I almost sent too much money to something, and I was like, and I caught it right before you hit like the payment button or something, and my heart did this flip-flop thing, and I was like, oh, I wonder how many times this happens in our new digital world where money can be so easily transferred like that. Like, oh my word, it's so easy now to just, oh, there's money, there it goes, it's gone now. Crazy. All right. So I think I'm not going to like speed up the drying on this one, because I'm wondering if I just let it dry naturally, if the sparkle will be more true. That's my feeling on this one. If I speed it up, if it will not dry as true. So I'm not going to touch it. We're just going to let it sit here in the dry Utah air and let it just dry. But I think it's done. I feel the only thing I'm like tempted to do is after it dries, put some sparkle spritz on it to add to these spritzes. That's the only thing I'm tempted to do. Anyway, that's my last temptation. All right, it seems like there was one more thing I was going to do. And I was going to show you guys my bag. I haven't shown YouTube the bag where I'm keeping all the supplies. And somehow I have to move this without bumping that color so it can dry very carefully. It's going to go downhill if I go that way. Okay, we'll move it this way. Okay, Paul Rubens, you have to move. And I'm going to put this pen into my bag, so that's good. Okay. Move this over here and this over here. All right, now we can very carefully move my piece over here to dry. Very carefully. Very carefully. All right, it is what it is. Okay, so the bag that I have used second year in a row now is this one. And I think I have it linked in our Amazon shop, but If you have a Michaels near you or whatever, I've always found this particular bag cheaper at Michaels. It's by the Happy Planner. This one says Create 365 on it. And the last time I found it at Michaels, it has a new fabric it's being made out of, but it was the exact same setup inside, so it would be still the same layout. And it's really a good bag. It holds so much in it. So it has two main sections, and this section here has these little zipper pockets that are clear, and I have one zipper pocket that I fill with rulers and sticky things, so tape, glue, a tape runner, and I even have some mini scissors back here. But these come out, so if you're working at a table or somewhere in an airplane, you can pull out just exactly what you need, and that's been really handy. So I really like that. So in this one here, I keep all kinds of pens and pencils and markers. So I'm going to add this pen now into here. I have those new Crazy Pot pens that I'm going to be using. I even have highlighters. You guys know I like to use highlighters as base layers. That's in here as well. I also do journaling and planners. That's what this bag is also set up for. So this bag gets used for a lot of different things. So I'm going to slide this in here just like that. So I'm ready to do Inktober. So the idea is you want everything together in one box or bag. You can just use a Walmart bag if that's all you've got, or a Ziploc bag, but you want everything together in one area. So when you sit down to do Inktober, you don't have to go find everything. You don't want that to be the thing that stops you from doing your art. Then on this side of the bag, there's a little pocket here, and what I've done is I've got a set of Tombows here in two of their packages. So that fits really nice in there. So I have a set of water-based markers that I can use and play with, including a clear one, a blender pen. So if I want to do some lettering or some water-based type, this will do even watercolor type stuff. This kind of pens will do that. So that's very versatile and helpful with my kind of art. And it fits really well right back here, those two packages. Okay, and then on this side it has one big clear vinyl pocket. And so on this side I keep all my washi tape collection. I have the full rolls of washi tape back here, and then what I did was I took pieces of cardstock and covered them with white duct tape, and then wrapped a little bit of every kind of washi tape that I have onto these cards, and then I can travel with a little bit of my entire washi tape collection with me. So if I'm doing a planner page or a journal page or whatever, a piece of art, and I want to add some washi tape to it, I've got a little bit of all my washi tapes with me at all times. So that's really handy, works really well, and it's very convenient. I love my washi tape, it makes me happy. Okay, and then I have this little pencil holder here where I'm keeping some Copic markers. So these are alcohol-based markers, so I have both water-based and a small set of alcohol-based markers handy if I want to color or do art with those. And then this pocket right here is the right size for my sketchbook that I'm using for Inktober, so it slides right in here. So you want to pick a sketchbook out for Inktober that is the right size for you. Do you want a really big one so you have room to play and doodle and do everything you want? I prefer for Inktober a smaller size because then I can achieve a little piece of art every day. If it's too big, then that's a lot of art you have to fill in and it feels overwhelming, at least for me. Then it's got one more pocket back here to put more stuff in, and I'm keeping just some post-it notes back here. I use post-it notes to mask off parts of a piece of project, and then I also just use them practically in my planners and journals, and I have 3x5 and 5x7 cards in here that I also use in my planners and notebooks and stuff. So this is more just practical type things here in this, so that's why I've got that there. So I've also shoved even more stuff in here before because it kind of grows to hold even more. So I'll add things like a small set of color pencils. for instance, like if you've got a little set like these, they'll fit in here really nice back in this back section here. This is a 24 set of color pencils. They fit back in there really nice, and now you've got color pencils with you wherever you go. So this bag is really versatile, and it's lasted. The zippers are really strong. It's been really well worth it. So it's a good bag. Okay, so this is ready for the Inktober book as soon as that ink, the paint, dries. And I do think I'm going to leave those color pencils in there. So I have color pencils. So it all zips up, and I can haul it around the house or on the go, wherever I end up, and I can do my Inktober anywhere I am. So see, I could put more in there. I could put a 100 set of markers in there, right, Steve? 50 more gel pens.
That's right. Speaking of markers, Crystal asked if you keep your Cali art markers in the bag they came in.
My Cali art markers are in a large marker case right now, a purple marker case. And I really like it in there because I can arrange them like in threes or however I want. You guys know I really like keeping my coloring supplies in sets of 3, a light, medium, and dark. So that's where I have my Cali arts right now. They're really handy in that. So that little case that I just showed you is perfect for when I'm doing like Inktober on the go, like at my sofa downstairs, or if I'm going to be like at my mom's or something like that. That case works perfect. But on days where I'm here at home, I can do my dip pens or my watercolor, or use some of my other more random supplies like my Cali art markers or anything else like that. So that's when I would do it here. I can draw from my more intense art supplies that I only keep here in my art studio. So that's how I look at it. That's kind of like a little bit of everything, do it on the go kind of stuff. And then here in my studio, I can really get into the nitty gritty supplies, the messy stuff, the stuff I wouldn't haul around everywhere. That's how I look at it.
Katrina asked if you use planners.
I try. I've tried off and on. But my husband and I, Steve, he prefers to do digital planning. That's how we communicate between each other. So to do a physical planner doesn't work for him. And because we're business partners, it has to be digital because that's how we communicate. So what I've done is I've gone to more of a loose planner where I keep my thoughts in a physical form, because that's how I prefer to keep my thoughts, is physical. He prefers to do everything digital. So we do all of our calendaring digital, and then I keep all of my notes and thoughts in a physical form, because that's the way I think better, is to write it all down. So I have a composition notebook that I keep all my notes, and it's all it's all very arty. I add washi tape to all my notes, and I use pretty gel pens, and that's the way my notebook is. So
Aspie Wisdom thinks you should put ink tents in your bag.
I have right here. This is the little roll of ink tents that I'll put in from time to time. This one right here. So I have my full set of ink tents that I have in a case, and then these are my spares. And so these will go into that case with a water brush. That's how I'll take my ink tents. So yep, they will go in. So like, maybe a week or two into Inktober, about the time that you're starting to lose your umph and you're like, I'm starting to get bored of this. I'm not getting ideas. That's a really good time to go into your art supplies and swap out stuff. And I'll take out those color pencils, or maybe I'll take my Tombow markers out or the Copic markers out, and I'll swap it in maybe my Inktense pencils or a different set of Jelly Roll pens, or, kind of refresh and get excited again. Oh yeah, I could use my pastels and that kind of thing. So it's good to have something that you'll wait, and maybe 2 weeks into the challenge, I'll switch things out and start again with some fresh supplies that will reinvigorate you and get you creatively inspired again. So yep, I have some Inktense all ready to go that I can throw in there and use. So good suggestion. All right, so I think I'll give you one more look at how this is drying. And then I think what we'll do is just let it sit here. This is still really wet right here, but this one is almost dry. So let me move it in the light and see if you can see. I can see it shining really pretty. And you can see how wet it is right here. But this is almost all dry up here. Can you see the shine we're getting off of this up here? Oh, I hope... Anyway, I can't move it too much yet because it's still very wet. So what I'll do is, like I said, I'm going to post everything on Instagram, and maybe on this one where it has shine, I'll do a little video too on Instagram. And so if you want to follow me and you can see all my art as I go along, make sure you're following me. I've got day 2 I need to do as well. So yeah. And I'll be watching to see what you guys post. So you can do hashtag coloring bliss as well as your hashtag Inktober 2019, and then I'll see it because you've hashtagged me. I think that's how that works. Is that how that works?
I think so.
So that way I'll see it too, and then I'll be able to see what you've been coming up with for your daily prompts. And like I said, don't be hard on yourself. If you get into it and only do 5 days out of the 31, you should feel proud of yourself for doing 5 days of art that you wouldn't have done if you hadn't even tried. So think of it that way.
Well, and it doesn't have to be this work of art,
No.
like you did tonight. Just simple idea.
Simple rings, or you could color something, and you saw my flip through of that book. A lot of those things are not publishable. They are not works of art. So yeah, when you start, if you go into the deep hole of hashtag Inktober, you are going to see some masterpieces. I mean, they make me feel like I have no place in this world as an artist. So don't be intimidated, but just remind yourself this is about creativity and creating a daily creative moment for yourself. And if you go into it with that in mind, then it doesn't really matter. You could sit down and scrapbook for an hour, and that could be your Inktober moment for the day. And that's great. Or maybe you make a card for your niece, or maybe you color with your daughter. Maybe that's your Inktober moment for the day. So think of it more like that, and you'll set yourself up for success. And then at the end of the month, you're going to look back and go, it was a success because I was more creative in October than I was in September, and that was the whole point. So if you look at it that way, then you will succeed no matter what. So that's my advice. So I was following an artist in 2018, and she started out with Inktober on YouTube, and she was going to post a video every day, and about a week into October her channel went silent, totally silent, and she was like a really high posting channel, and I was like, what happened? And then about towards the end of Inktober, she came on and had this big confessional video about how she had failed everyone and failed herself and failed Inktober and all this stuff, and how she'll never do Inktober again because she couldn't keep up with it and it depressed her, and that's why her channel went silent. And I was like, oh, you missed the point. The point of Inktober is not to do it every day. The point is to become more creative, and if you just set yourself up for success, then you won't have a failure like she did. And I felt really bad. I wanted to go give her a big hug and tell her it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, that's my advice. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoy whatever creative projects you do in October, no matter what it is. I hope you enjoy it and feel more uplifted and blissful. That's my hope for you. So
and Crystal says, hey, Jennifer, take your own advice. Don't sell yourself short. You're an amazing artist in person.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree. We all need to make ourselves feel good about where we're at. And I love that about looking back at these sketchbooks and seeing my progress and seeing what I was doing 2 years ago. That's so cool. And whatever you do, make sure you're dating whatever you do. If you color something, draw something, make sure you put a date on it, because 5 years from now, you're going to look back and see it and go, oh, that's what I did 5 years ago. Look where I've come. Look what I've done. And so, yeah, date it no matter what you do, because it's really pleasing and exciting to look back and see that. So it's really cool. All right. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining us this week. Good luck, everybody, no matter what you do in October. Good luck with it. And we'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful, colorful, blissful night. Bye-bye, everybody.